As you might imagine, seasoned Santa Cruz real estate agents field quite a few questions on a daily basis. People are naturally curious, and it's an agent's job to guide folks through the often complex world of home buying and home selling. Hi, I'm Shemeika Fox, your Santa Cruz real estate expert. You might also imagine that some questions about Santa Cruz real estate come up more often than others. Whether you're a first-time Santa Cruz home buyer or you're a repeat Santa Cruz home buyer who could use just a little refresher on how Santa Cruz real estate deals actually get done, here are some answers to the questions that come up most often. Number one, what is the first step in the Santa Cruz home buying process? The Santa Cruz home buying process requires you to get pre-approved if you're not planning on paying cash. Get pre-approved for a mortgage is the first step in the Santa Cruz home buying process. Getting a pre-approval letter from a lender will help get the process started. Here's why. First, you need to know how much money you can borrow. Knowing how much you can afford narrows down your Santa Cruz home search to those that are suitable and fit in your budget. Thus, no time is wasted on homes that you just shouldn't be considering. Pre-approvals also help prevent disappointment caused by falling in love with that Santa Cruz home that is just out of reach financially. Second, the loan estimate from your lender will show how much money is required for the down payment and the closing costs. You may need more time to save up money, liquidate other assets, or seek mortgage gift funds from your family. In any case, you will have a clear picture of what is required financially. Finally, being pre-approved for a mortgage demonstrates that you are a serious Santa Cruz home buyer to both the Santa Cruz real estate agent and the person selling their Santa Cruz home. Most real estate agents will require a pre-approval before showing homes. This is especially true at the higher end of the Santa Cruz real estate market. Sellers of luxury homes will only allow pre-screened and verified buyers to view their Santa Cruz home. This is meant to keep out those people who are just window shopping and protect the seller's privacy. What's more, by limiting who enters their home, Santa Cruz sellers are given extra security from potential thieves trying to case the home, like identifying security systems, locating expensive artwork, or other high-value personal property. It does happen, believe it or not. Question 2, how long does it take to buy a Santa Cruz home? From start, when you start searching online, to finish closing escrow, buying a home takes about 10 to 12 weeks. Once a Santa Cruz home is selected and the offer is accepted, the average time to complete the escrow period on a home is 30 to 45 days under normal market conditions and if the Santa Cruz home buyer is obtaining a loan. If the Santa Cruz home buyer is paying cash, the process can be as quick as 3 to 7 days, believe it or not, if all parties agree. Market conditions are a major factor in how fast Santa Cruz homes are sold. In hot markets with lots of sales activity, buying a home may take a little longer than normal. It's because several parties are involved in the transaction, get behind in their business, and suddenly everything just slows down for a couple days. For example, a spike in Santa Cruz home sales increases the demand for property appraisals, home inspections, lenders are booked. So everything will just stop or slow down slightly. So if appraisers and inspectors are booked, we just have to wait for their turn time. Lender turn time and underwriting can also slow things down. If each party involved in a deal takes a day or two longer to get their work done, the entire process will be extended. What is a seller's market is question 3 that I often get asked. In a seller's market, increased demand for Santa Cruz home drive up prices. Here are some of the drivers of demand. Economic factors in the local labor market heats up, bringing an inflow of new Santa Cruz residents and pushing up Santa Cruz home prices before more inventory can be built or comes on the market. Interest rates trending downward improves home affordability, creating more Santa Cruz buyer interest, particularly for Santa Cruz's first-time home buyers who can afford bigger Santa Cruz homes as the cost of money gets cheaper. A short-term spike in interest rates may compel on-the-fence Santa Cruz home buyers to make a purchase if they believe the upward trend will continue. Santa Cruz buyers want to make a move before their purchasing power or the amount they can borrow gets eroded. Low inventory or fewer Santa Cruz homes on the market because of a lack of new construction. Prices for existing Santa Cruz homes may go up because there are fewer units available. Question 4. What is a buyer's market? A buyer's market is characterized by declining home prices and or reduced demand. When we see our absorption rate at 6 months or more, that indicates a buyer's market. The absorption rate is a rate in which homes are sold in a set period of time. Several factors may affect long-term and short-term buyer demand, like economic disruption if a big employer shuts down operations, laying off their workforce. Interest rates trending higher, the amount of money people can borrow to buy a home is reduced because the cost of money is higher, thus reducing the total number of potential Santa Cruz buyers in the Santa Cruz real estate market. When interest rates go up, generally you will see home prices drop to meet the level of demand, and buyers can oftentimes find better deals or get their offers accepted if they've been rejected multiple times. Short-term drop in interest rates can give borrowers a temporary edge with more purchasing power before home prices can react to the recent interest rate changes. High inventory, a new subdivision can create downward pressure on prices of older homes nearby, particularly if they lack highly desirable features like modern appliances, current styles and trends, etc. Natural disasters, a recent earthquake or flooding can tank property values in the neighborhood where those disruptions occurred, believe it or not. Number 5, what is a stratified market? A stratified market happens where supply and demand characteristics differ by price point in the same area, typically by city. For example, home sales for properties above 1.5 million may be brisk, a seller's market, while homes under 750,000 may be sluggish, indicating a buyer's market. This scenario comes along every so often in West Coast cities where international investors looking to park their money in the United States buy expensive real estate, and at the same time, home sales activity in mid-priced homes could be entirely different as well. Number 6, how much do I have to pay an agent to help me buy a house? Get this, Santa Cruz home buyers generally pay little or no fees to hire a Santa Cruz agent to help them buy a home. Here's why. For most Santa Cruz home sales, there are 2 real estate agents involved in the deal. One that represents the seller and another who represents the buyer. Listing brokers represent the sellers and charge a fee to represent them and market the property. The property will also be placed in the local multiple listing service or MLS, where other agents in the area and nationally will be able to search and find the home for sale. Agents who represent buyers, also known as buyer's agents, are compensated by the listing broker for bringing the Santa Cruz home buyer to the table. When the Santa Cruz home is sold, the listing broker splits the listing fee with the buyer's agent. Thus, buyers don't pay their agents. Isn't that the best news ever? There are, of course, other fees when you're buying a home, but we can talk about that later. Number 7, what kind of credit score do I need to buy a home? Most loan programs require a FICO score of 620 or better. Borrowers with higher credit scores represent less risk to the lender, often resulting in a lower down payment requirement and better interest rate. Conversely, home shoppers with lower credit scores may need to bring more money to the table or accept a higher interest rate to offset the lender's risk. Number 8, how much do I need for a down payment? The national average for down payment is 11%, but that figure includes first-time and repeat buyers. Let's take a closer look. While the broad down payment average is 11%, first-time homebuyers usually only put down 3 to 5% on a home. That's because several first-time homebuyer programs don't require big down payments. A longtime favorite, the FHA loan, requires 3.5% down. What's more, some programs allow down payment contributions from family members in the form of a gift. Some programs require even less. VA loans and USDA loans can be made with 0 down. However, these programs are more restrictive. VA loans are only made to former or current military service members, and USDA loans are only available to low to middle income buyers in USD eligible rural areas. For many years, conventional loans required a 20% down payment. These types of loans were typically taken out by repeat buyers who could use equity from their existing home as a source of down payment funds. However, some newer conventional loan programs are available with 3% down if the borrower carries private mortgage insurance or PMI. Question number 9, should I sell my current home before buying a new one? If the built-up equity in your current Santa Cruz home will be applied to the down payment on the new home, naturally the former Santa Cruz home will need to be sold first, unless you have access to additional cash and or want to explore the option of a bridge loan. Some Santa Cruz home buyers decide to turn their current home into an investment property and rent it out. In that case, the current home will not need to be sold. However, your loan advisor will still need to evaluate your risk profile and credit history to determine whether making a loan on a new Santa Cruz home is feasible while retaining title to the old home as well. Santa Cruz buyers often have a short time frame to sell their current home when relocating to a new city because of a job transfer. If you are moving but taking a position with the same employer, check to see if they offer relocation assistance to help offset the costs of moving. Question 10. How many homes should I view before buying one? Now that is totally up to you. Some people walk in, fall in love, write an offer, and they're done. For sure, Santa Cruz home shopping is easier today than ever before due to the good old internet and technology. The ability to search for homes online and see pictures and video even before setting a foot outside the comfort of your living room has completely changed the home buying process. Convenience is at an all-time high, but nothing beats visiting a home to see how it looks and feels in person. Question 11, what is earnest money? When you make an offer on a home, your agent will ask for an earnest deposit. Earnest money is made in good faith to demonstrate to the seller that the buyer's offer is genuine. Earnest money essentially takes the home off the market to anyone else and reserves it for you. The earnest money deposit is sent to escrow for safekeeping. If a deal is struck, the earnest money is applied to the down payment and closing costs. If the deal falls through, the money is returned to the buyer should the buyer still have contingencies in place. Important, if the terms of a deal are agreed upon by both parties, but then the buyer backs out, the earnest money may not be returned to the buyer. Make sure that you ask your Santa Cruz agent about the ways in which you can protect your earnest money deposit. Question number 12, how long can the seller take to respond to my offer? Written offers should stipulate the time frame in which the seller should respond. Standard California Association of Realtors purchase agreements, if left blank, is a 3-day time frame for response. I generally personally shorten that to 2 days or less if it's a really aggressive offer or strong offer, which in most instances should be a sufficient time to get a response from the seller. Question 13, what if my offer is rejected? Sellers can flat out accept or reject any offer. But there's also a third path that is really common, especially in today's market, where sellers can initiate a counteroffer. Remember this, a deal isn't dead until it's dead. I have in some instances countered back and forth more than 6 or 7 times before we finally had an accepted offer. If a counteroffer is prepared by the seller, you're still in the game. You and your Santa Cruz agent just need to review it and determine whether the counteroffer and the terms are acceptable to you. If so, then approving it closes the deal immediately. Keep in mind, offers and counteroffers can go back and forth many times. This is not unusual, and negotiations are a part of what realtors do as a matter of routine. Each revision should bring both parties closer together on the terms of the deal. Also, please note that when there is a seller multiple counteroffer, the counter needs to be signed by the sellers twice before the offer is ratified. Once upon presentation, and a second time if the sellers intend to accept your offer. A multiple counteroffer is used when there are multiple offers and the seller is responding to multiple parties. Question 14, should I order a home inspection? Yes, home inspections are a great way to really understand the condition of the Santa Cruz home in which you are considering purchasing. Some Santa Cruz sellers will provide a home and even a pest inspection up front. If the Santa Cruz home seller does not provide those inspections, it is highly recommended that you get them for yourself and for your protection. Some mortgage programs require inspections before they will fund the loan. Home inspections bring peace of mind to one of the biggest investments of a lifetime. Question number 15, and the last question. Do I need to do a final walkthrough? And what is a final walkthrough? It's not required, but it is a darn good idea. Final walkthroughs give buyers a chance to make sure nothing has changed since their first visit. If repairs were requested as part of the offer, a follow-up visit ensures that everything is squared away as expected per the terms of the contract. Well, I think that does it. For the 15 questions a realtor is most commonly asked, if you have additional questions or would like to dig a little deeper, feel free to reach out for a complimentary, confidential consultation. I'm Shemeika Fox, your Santa Cruz real estate expert, and as always, I'm here to help. Make it a great day.